Hey everybody, what's going on? It is Roy Cannaday here, and I am here with a Q&A. A little bit delayed, but I am back and ready for all the questions, and hopefully I can have some answers. At least make sure to check out in the comments below. Just type in a question, and I will pick some from the chat to answer for you guys. But I hope everybody is having a great day and enjoyed all the other live stream stuff from this morning. But yeah, am I out of frame? Am I out of focus? Chris is attacking my, it was focused for a second. Ooh, that's much better, a little bit better. Anyway, what's up everybody? Everybody's just yelling everyone's name in the chat. Just yelling names, that's what you do, I think. Roy, how's it going? Oh, a little fuzzy. Yeah, this camera's been having a little bit more issues, so I don't know what's up with that. Why the green hair? So I don't know. Me and my fiance has purple and pink hair, and sometimes we just mix it up and have all sorts of different color hair and things like that. Occasionally, back in the day, I originally had when I did my podcast, I had I've had different color hair all throughout my life, I guess. Mostly after my teenage years, but probably just from punk rock influences or whatever. But I had a Patreon back in the day for my old podcast where they actually got to vote on my hair color, and I did it like orange and purple back in the day, but I just mixed it up. Over last summer, one of my daughters dyed their hair pink and the other one dyed their hair purple, and I kind of dyed my hair along with them. But yeah, I just do it for fun, you know. It's a thing. Let's see here. Roy, just wanted to say that we just played Last Light for the first time today and really liked it. Wow, today, in commemoration of my Q&A. Thanks so much for actually getting it to the table. That's awesome. So stoked you guys are having fun with it. I've been quite shook by the amount of positive response. Yesterday, I was feeling down, and for some reason I randomly was going through Reddit, and that's not normally the place to find positive stuff, but people on Reddit were actually saying like nice things about it. It was wild because, you know, people over there are crazy sometimes, and if you're on Reddit, I'm sorry, but you know it's true. It's not normally people are very hypercritical over there. Oh, what is your current favorite hero to play in Marvel Champions and favorite villain? I will have to say I haven't gotten the X-Men Age of Apocalypse stuff yet. I feel super behind. I really want to play that. But my current favorite is Wolverine. I just really like the fact that he can use his health as a resource, and of course he heals back up and stuff like that, and he can do massive amounts of damage with attack events using his health to do that. And then I don't know, I really enjoy the Sentinel scenario from the X-Men box. It's just cool because you unlock so many allies, and you have just all these different allies, and you get Jubilee out and all this different stuff, and if you're playing in the campaign, you can also get Magneto. It's just cool. I've been watching through X-Men 97 and really been enjoying the cartoon, so it's just really cool to play Marvel Champions and have those characters for Marvel Champions as well. But yeah, those are my two current favorites, but I still need to play the Age of Apocalypse box, and I don't think any of the new hero packs are out yet. I don't think Iceman's out yet or anything like that, but I really want to try the new stuff. Roy for sure could be a Viking. I don't know. My beard is not 100% there yet. I think you have to have like the beard with like braided hair or something. Like Vikings are pretty close to dwarves, I think. But anyway, something like that. Let's see. Planning on bringing any prototypes to Dice Tower East or the Retreat? I normally have all sorts of prototypes. Actually, at Dice Tower West, we did some demoing for some Last Light expansion stuff that I don't know that I can really talk about. But yeah, I'm always like demoing and trying stuff out. Sometimes stuff makes it, sometimes things go in the trash. But yeah, I do know that me and Tom are both going to BGG Spring, and I do plan on bringing some of my stuff there as well to try out. But yeah, I just try out stuff here and there and then play with people however it works. My fiance Ruthie says, I made a chat real quick to say hi. Okay, bye. Yay, she's actually at work, so thanks for stopping by. Let's see. Oh man, is there a game coming out this year or the next year that you're really looking forward to? We normally do those videos where we talk about all the upcoming games that we're excited about. I'm still really excited about Iridia, which is the from the designer of Zaya. I'm really excited about that fantasy game, hopefully finally coming out. I'm excited about Dark Quarter, which is like kind of like a redone. It's Lucky Duck and Van Ryder Games basically making a Destiny-style game that has a little bit more maybe like black magic type stuff in it, which looks interesting. And I just love the Destiny system and all the storytelling in that. And I know Van Ryder's really good at storytelling as well, so I'm excited to see that. Man, there's tons of different stuff that's always coming out I'm excited about. Always excited about more Marvel Champions expansions and all of that. But yeah. Please tell us you have other game designs rattling around in your head. Yes, I don't have as much time to work on it as I would like. Sometimes I don't know. I think my personality, I very much like, I'm all over the place with like things I'm working on. I always have different projects and different things I'm going after. So I really work on game design when I have the inspiration for it. And a lot of times it's like, I have the inspiration for this game. I'm working on this game hardcore. And then I'll set it aside and then come back to it and work on it more. So just kind of like go through things. But yeah, I have some stuff that I'm working on. I have some stuff that's in my head. I have some stuff that's currently in prototypes. I have some stuff that's currently not even finished prototypes. I have so many games, and maybe some of them might actually come out someday, and maybe plenty of them will also be in the trash. We shall see. But yeah. Oh, nice. Richard says that Magic is awesome in the new Age of Apocalypse. I really want to try Magic. That'll be really cool. I really can't wait for that whole set. I want to play against all those villains as well. Oh, I need to get that box set. Question. Favorite game you've played so far this year? Easy. Dune War for Arrakis. Easy. I love that style of game. I'm a huge fan of. I just went on the BGG podcast with Candace Harris, and we were talking about all these different games with variable player powers and things like that, and Doom for War for Arrakis came up, and we gushed about that for a while. But I love War of the Ring, and it gives me those War of the Ring vibes. It feels kind of like a little bit of like War of the Ring and Star Wars Rebellion, but also plays a lot faster than both those games. I really enjoy Dune War for Arrakis. So far, it is definitely the best game I've played this year. Do you play TTRPG skirmish games? Not necessarily Warhammer 40k, but other games in the same genre. TTRPG, that's tabletop role-playing game, I would think. That seems like a weird thing. I would just call it miniatures games if you're talking about Warhammer 40k, unless you're talking about Warhammer 40k role-playing game, which I haven't played. I do enjoy D&D. I played a ton of 4th edition back in the day, because it's more like a board game. I know it gets a lot of crap, but I ran campaigns for people of 4th edition of D&D forever, but that has a lot of tabletop presence to it. I really enjoy Rune Wars miniatures game. I think that one's a blast to play. I just love the way the army building and all the different stuff, and I really like the dice, how the different trays and stuff multiply your dice or let you have rerolls. I'm sad that game like never really took off or never had like a big presence. I think it's just really hard for Fantasy Flight to bring out a miniatures game like that and make it as popular as a lot of the other stuff. And it's just hard to get people to buy into a miniatures game because they're so expensive. But I really enjoy that one if you're talking about miniatures games specifically. And I have played Warhammer 40k. I normally tend towards Necrons if I'm playing. I think a lot of Warhammer 40k for me is a lot more like building the models and painting the stuff up and doing all the hobby aspects of it than even playing the game. But I feel like a lot of people are in that same sort of situation. I have some Age of Sigmar stuff. I have some like Night Haunts or whatever, but I have a lot that I still really need to paint up and actually put together. But I don't actively play a lot of that stuff. Let's see. Ooh, Mike Heller says, I'm hoping to get a game of Xayah going at the retreat. I played Xayah at Dice Tower East last year, and it was a blast. I love Xayah. I wish there was more Xayah, because I played Xayah so much. I need more of it. There's some of these big epic games that I play over and over and over again. I just want more of them, and I feel like other people are still discovering them and exploring them. But if you haven't played Xayah yet, especially with the expansion, it is a blast. One of my favorite games, which I will talk about soon, hopefully. Oh, have you played Arcs yet from Leader Games? If so, what are your thoughts on the game? I haven't played it yet. I'm definitely interested in it because I love 4X. I really enjoy Leader Games. I really enjoy that style of game. I know it has trick-taking-ish stuff, which is not normally a mechanic I gravitate towards, but also I've heard that it's not really trick-taking, you know? It just has a little bit of that style stuff in it. But I am excited about trying it out. I love space 4X games. I mean, I like 4X games in general. I would love to see more other genre 4X games. I would love to see more Civilization 4X games. I'd love to see more Fantasy 4X games as well. Those would be really cool. But yeah, because we have Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea, and then you have like the Rune Wars board game from Fantasy Flight, but we don't have a ton of different fantasy ones. And like the Civilization genre for that, like there's not ones that feel that 4X. I mean, I guess there's like Clash of Cultures and stuff like that. I really should play that one. That might solve the problem that I'm having in my head. But yeah, and I really enjoy Mosaic, but I don't know how I got sidetracked in 4X games. This happens often. I really enjoy 4X games, but I'm excited about Arcs. Let's see. Last gig you played, if you're talking about like music stuff, holy smokes, I haven't played like, well, I mean, I did praise and worship at my church a bunch, if that counts as a gig. I definitely played bass a lot doing that. But before that, it was, I don't know, like a decade ago, I think. I did guitar in bands. I've done bass. I did a lot of playing bass and like screaming vocals. And then I did like singing vocals and screaming vocals in like a post-hardcore band for a while as well. But it's been a very long time since I played a gig at a show. You know, I don't currently have the musical instruments to do that. I have an electric guitar, but I don't have an amp. But I wouldn't mind, like, I could probably play bass in a band or something now if I really tried, especially since I've been doing more things like at different events and going to different shows. I'm starting to know people that actually play in bands. That's kind of cool. Huh. That's strange. What is the cutest game you've played that isn't a kid's game? I mean, I don't normally judge games by their cuteness for the most part, because I'm hardcore. But I'd probably say Flamecraft is the first one that comes to mind. I'm sure there's plenty of them. I mean, maybe this was asked because of Arcs and Leader Game, and Root is kind of cute in some ways. But yeah, Flamecraft is probably the cutest game I've played. Okay. Oh, interesting. What is the best thing you ate this weekend? Strangely enough, I mean, I ate some French macaroons from a boba tea place. That was really, really good. We didn't have like particularly good food. A Friday counts. We went and had sushi at a place here in Miami that I love going. We go all the time. It's actually a buffet, but I really enjoy the sushi there. It's called Uptown Buffet. It's not like the most fancy stuff ever, but like it's affordable, and I'm like, hey, this is really good for like what you're paying. I just really enjoy anything that has unagi on it. And they have this weird, I know it's such a Miami thing, but they have this sushi with like plantains in it, which is really good as well. But yeah, that's probably the best thing I ate. But yeah. Good stuff, good stuff. Oh, when is your wedding, and do you have a registry set up? Oh man, it is So I haven't given out all the invitations. We're doing something like super, super small for the wedding. So probably only around 30 people. And I'm still giving out the invitations. It's just going to be super like close friends and family for the wedding for the most part. We're going to be doing it here in Miami. And we've talked about maybe doing a registry. I've had other people from like the board game sphere being like, you need to like do a thing because like we'd love to. And I thought about like videotaping the wedding and stuff and putting it up there. I know because we kind of did like a public engagement. People are interested whenever we go on the cruise or whenever people see me and Ruthie together. They're always like, when's the wedding? When's the wedding? But we're planning on doing it October 11th at a park, and we're really excited about it. I'm trying to have our family come down. We have a blended family, so I'm super excited about, I mean, yes, me and Ruthie are getting married, but also like we're bringing our family together. Like I have 2 kids and she has 2 kids, and then they'll actually be like full step siblings and everything like that. And I don't know, I'm just really excited about doing it together as like a whole family event and having it with close friends and family. But if you follow me on social media, I'm sure if we end up doing a registry or something like that, we might post it there if anybody is interested in that sort of thing, which of course nobody would be obligated to, but thanks so much for asking, Andrew. Do you collect anything like Tom collects hats? Strangely enough, I don't normally like collect things. Because I mean, I have board games, but I want them played, and if I don't actually play them or don't foresee playing them, I normally try to get rid of them and move them on. I did a little bit of collecting anime figures here and there, and I have a few that like Ruthie's given me and stuff like that, but then we started getting more anime figures and stuff like that, and I actually turned that into a thing where we actually get anime figures in and sell them, like get them in wholesale, and like we run different pop-up events and stuff like that. So I don't collect those either, even though I get in ones I think are really cool and they stay at my house until we actually sell them, but I'm not like super attached to them. But I do get IPs that I really love and enjoy, and it's cool to geek out with people over that stuff. But like straight up collecting things, I mean, I do have like some, I used to collect the Trigun manga. I had all of those, but then I ended up selling all of that off. And I do have some Trigun Funko Pops, so I collected not the whole set of those, but I have some of those. But I try to stay away from Funko Pops altogether, because, you know, that's a rabbit hole you can go down hardcore. Holy smokes, if you had a huge budget, how would you deluxify Last Light? I have definitely thought about this question. I mean, the game is decently deluxe already. It has all these spheres and things. I have bought, and I mean, hopefully people will see this at Dice Tower East. Spoiler alert here. I'm gonna try to do like a weird setup. At the retreat, I did a like 12-player game of Last Light. I might actually try to end up pushing that even further. We do have a teach and play for Last Light as well at Dice Tower East, which I will be announcing, and we'll be maybe having some signups for that as well. I need to figure out how many copies of the game Gray Fox is giving me so I can figure out how many people I can actually allow to sign up. But back to the Deluxify question. So I got a like one of those like levitating floating moon things, and I'm trying to figure out how to make that sit in the middle of the board, so it actually floats. And then I've looked at it, but I don't know that I actually want to go all the way in on it. You know how there's like spheres of like different like precious stones and things like that, like tiger's eye or like jade or stuff like that, and they have these at like all these booths all the time with like spiritual healing. Nobody cares about that stuff, but they look cool. It'd be cool to have like actual like stones as all of the planets, and that'd be amazing. I have thought about making a board that was like poured resin with like lights underneath it, which doesn't actually make any sense for Last Light because the theme of the game is the heat death of the universe, but it would be cool to have it like lit up underneath. I've had lots of crazy ideas. I've thought about like, man, it'd be cool to have like a giant setup where I 3D print all of the models and have like giant models of everything. There's so many different ideas. I really enjoy playing the game even after teaching hundreds and hundreds of people. There's all sorts of crazy ways. I actually reached out to like big kid creative about like painting a set of the ships, because they do all the CMON painting for all of their stuff. And I haven't been able to solidify that, but like that's another thing. It's like, man, I would love to have extremely well painted ships, crazy blinged out stuff everywhere. I mean, overall, it is pretty nice in general as it is, but I would still figure out ways to deluxify it, because, you know, that'd be fun. The history of Roy Cannaday in a couple minutes. That's a little bit hard to do, but let's see. Let's try. So, I grew up, I was born in Georgia. When I was 5 years old, my family moved to Martinsville. I grew up playing board games with my dad. I was homeschooled, and I started doing CCGs as well. I played a ton of like competitive, like Redemption, which is a Christian collectible card games. My dad would run a bunch of different tournaments for that, and then we went to like all sorts of, we'd fly and actually go to these different tournaments, and I would win like a lot of these tournaments, got really good at it. But then also we started playing a bunch of other board games as well, especially since we found out about them at the Redemption tournament. My dad played a ton of old war games, and we played like Dune and stuff like that growing up, and a bunch of different games. But I started playing like Robo Rally and Killer Bunnies and Munchkin and Flux and Carcassonne and Settlers of Canaan, and then later on Settlers of Catan. And then we started playing Betrayal at the House on the Hill, and I got into... after I got a little bit older, I grew up playing Gamma World with my dad, and then after I got a little bit older, I started running my own D&D games. My friends taught me how to play D&D, and I started running D&D games at a local shop there, and I did that for a couple years. But then I started playing Magic as well, so I did a bunch of Magic, and I got to the point where I could win like at 80 player Magic the Gathering tournaments in our like local community there in North Carolina, because we had moved from Martinsville down to North Carolina. I'm sure the story is all over the place, but then after set rotation happened, I decided to get rid of all of my Magic cards because I didn't want to have to buy tons more to keep being competitive in the scene. And then I started watching, at the time I had already seen a bunch of Dice Tower videos talking about all these different board games, and when I sold off all my Magic cards, I picked a bunch of games that looked like I would enjoy from watching Tom's reviews, and games that Tom still ranks very highly, and I still rank very highly as well. I sold my Magic cards and got Twilight Imperium 3, I got Summoner Wars 1st Edition, I got Pandemic, I got Battlestar Galactica, so I got a whole bunch of games. I have a picture of a stack of all the games I got for trading away, just a few of the expensive Magic cards that I had. And then me and my friend group went like face first into like playing board games, and a lot of that was from my friend Dustin, who I grew up playing board games with. He kind of showed me, he showed me Pandemic, he showed me Arkham Horror, and he showed me Shadows Over Camelot, and that kind of seeing cooperative board games just made me in love with board games in general. And that's one of the things I still love about board games, is that you can put a board game on the table and kind of play it with anyone. Like in campaigns, like or in campaign games, or like D&D, you have to build your character first, and you have to like have this commitment of coming back week after week. Or with collectible card games, you have to buy a deck, and you have to do all this stuff and try to be competitive with the other players, especially if you're not playing casually. With board games, you can put it on the table, and everybody can kind of play the game together. And I just love how board games bring everybody together and play games, especially cooperative games. It's just really fun to put something down and work together as a team to beat that game. And some of my favorite games are still cooperative games that I love to this day. But from there, playing lots and lots of board games, started a podcast. Well, we started streaming my game nights live on Twitch. Then we started a podcast. Then I started being a contributor for the Dice Tower. I moved my favorite game Friday thing that I was doing on my Instagram over to the Dice Tower, and that's still going on. It's been going on for 8 years, 9 years, something like that. It's been going on for a really long time. And then I started doing reviews for the Dice Tower. I started helping the Dice Tower out at conventions. I was just a contributor for the Dice Tower and just trying to be more involved. And then eventually a editor position opened up here, and then I moved me and my family down here to Miami, and basically joined as part of the Dice Tower. And now I help run the live streams, help edit videos, do a whole bunch of stuff behind the scenes. Everybody here helps with all of the conventions and things like that we run. We do stuff at Gen Con, we do stuff here. It's just fun to be a part of all of this, and that's kind of where I'm at now. I mean, I also designed Last Light before I moved down and things like that, so I've done some game design here and there. But yeah, it's been a wild ride. But yeah, I'm sure I'm so far behind on questions. How was Ruthie's Mother's Day? So on Saturday, I got Emma and Logan, and we went out and bought some plants. She likes the little succulents, like cactus things. She used to have some of those back in the day. We bought some of those for her and bought some balloons and some like fresh fruit, and we took them and surprised her at her job, and I made them say Happy Mother's Day to her and everything like that, and that was a lot of fun. And then yeah, we went to have that Uptown Buffet sushi dinner for Mother's Day dinner. So yeah, I think it was pretty good. I think we did a good job. But yeah, and then my mom also added Good Mother's Day as well. I made like a little video for her on Facebook. But yeah, hopefully everybody had a good Mother's Day themselves as well. To all the moms out there, shout out. Do you have a background of music, or do you have a go-to background music for games you play casually? I have played music in the background a little bit. If it's too loud, it's pretty distracting. I do really enjoy if we're playing like in a group setting, like a big epic game or something like that. It is fun to have like Star Wars music playing when you're playing Star Wars Rebellion, or if you're playing War of the Ring, having the War of the Ring soundtrack on. I haven't played Dune War for the Arrakis with the Dune soundtrack yet, but that would be awesome. I do quite often, and Sam will attest to this, make the weird like sound or whatever that they have and when they're going through the desert all the time in Dune. But yeah, I do like music in the background, but I don't have go-to music in general for that for the most part. I do play some like lo-fi music, or I'll play like thematic music when I'm like building prototypes for my games. Like if I'm working on something fantasy, I'll like have fantasy music playing in the background, or if I'm working on something spacey, I'll play space music, and it just helps me kind of be in the zone or in the mood for doing the photoshopping of making together a prototype. That's so it's kind of fun. Strange. Let's see. Big Ben, what's up, Big Ben? Asks, what are a few of your favorite movies? Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, the original trilogy. The Hobbit stuff is, it's fine. I love the Hobbit cartoon. I grew up with that, watched it over and over again, but the Hobbit movies are fine. But I love Lord of the Rings, number one. Honestly, I really, really love the new Dune stuff. It's really awesome. I think they're giving Dune like the Lord of the Rings treatment. Like, it's amazing. And then, I like Return of the Jedi, and I like, I don't know, Donnie Darko, I don't know, all sorts of different stuff, but mostly Lord of the Rings is my favorite. What is your favorite non-Space 4X game? Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. I love that one. Top 3 favorite anime. It's funny because I had been wearing anime shirts during all of my top 100 segments, and somebody in the chat's like, oh, is Roy secretly doing his top 10 anime through anime shirts? And I'm like, man, I wish I had actually thought of that. And then I'm like, man, I wore the shirts out of order already, because some of these would have been higher on the list. I also don't have shirts for every single of my top favorite anime, but I will say number one, it always flip-flops back and forth in between my number 1 and number 2, but I think I'm going to say number 1 is going to be Trigun. I really enjoy Trigun. It's like space, desert planet. Everybody like wrecked on a desert planet, and there's these people that are just trying to survive after their cryostasis ships wrecked on the planet, and it's just the juxtaposition between two twin brothers that are not actually human, that are trying to either save all of humanity or wreck all of it, and it's very interesting. I really love Trigun, and it feels very Western as well at the same time. And then number 2 is Naruto. I've watched all of Naruto. I really enjoyed that. It is huge and a huge undertaking, but I enjoy Naruto a lot. It's pretty good. And then number 3, I'm probably going to say it's Full Metal Alchemist. I really enjoy that and the story of those two brothers who tried to bring their mom back to life and like lost their body/limbs and are trying to figure out what's going on in this crazy world of alchemy, and also figure out how the government is kind of controlling everything, and that it's kind of crazy and interesting. But yeah, I really enjoy Full Metal Alchemist as well. I'm going to be so far behind on questions. Will it be a Dune-themed wedding riding on sandworms, and have a guest hide under the sand and things like that, where they pop up like the Fremen, and come and attack? Hopefully not. Ruthie did enjoy the Dune movies, but she definitely doesn't have the background in Dune like I do. We'll wear blue contacts as well. No. We're actually doing, I don't know, we're trying to do more of it's probably almost a little bit more of an emo-themed wedding, if you have to say anything. We both really enjoy, we go to a lot of emo nights and like do a lot of like punk rock and pop punk and stuff like that, and really enjoy that style of music. But yeah, she sent me pictures of like a tux, and like with them wearing like red ties. It almost looks like from a Green Day music video or different things like that. I really, we like that aesthetic and that style, so it'll probably be something more along that. We're just a couple of punks in love. There you go. Oh man, I wish I knew Dragon Ball better. Favorite Dragon Ball character? I know people love Dragon Ball Z, and I never got into it, and I feel, especially since I do a lot of stuff with the anime community here in Miami now, that like the fact that I don't know Dragon Ball Z better, yeah, I mean, I know Goku, I know Vegeta, I know Piccolo and Frieza and all that stuff, but I don't know what character would be my favorite. And you'll have to let me know in the comments what the correct answer is, and if there's like a way to start watching it after you haven't watched it for so many years. Wow. Hi Roy, do you have a favorite Battlelore 2nd Edition expansion? I'm trying to track them all down eventually. Man, I know Battlelore 2nd Edition is still one of my favorite games ever, and I know the expansions are extremely expensive now. It's crazy because they used to have them during the clearance sale all the time for Fantasy Flight each Christmas. This was, I don't know, it wasn't any time recently, it was probably like 5 years ago. But you could always find it cheap during that, but they don't have them anymore, they're not in stock. I really enjoy both of the expansions for the undead stuff, or the, it's the Why Here or whatever, however they pronounce their undead faction in the Tyrannoth universe. But yeah, I love that stuff. But yeah, if you just have the base set, I would say getting one of those is cool, because then you have a third faction that you can mix it up with. If you're gonna get anything else, like if you can't find that one, I would just probably get one expansion for each side of the regular factions, the humans and like the demon possessed guys. If you can find one of each of those, then that's good too, because then you just have more units you can build with for your different sides. But yeah, I have everything for it. I really enjoy Battlelore 2nd Edition, and it makes me sad because I know there was like an elf faction planned and they never came out with it. I wish that they would have like a room-bound 3rd edition and finally release everything for it, or just like put it back in print, even though they probably won't do that at this point. It's been out of print for so long. I think you're on the wrong Q&A. No. I grew out of Flux. I remember playing Flux when I first played it, and we played a game of Flux with like a bunch of people, and we played, and one person started, and we went all the way around the table, and then right before it got to the last person's turn, the order got reversed, so then we started playing back around the other way, and someone won the game before that person ever got a chance to play. And back in the day, I thought that was hilarious and amazing. Since I played more games, I don't think that's hilarious and amazing anymore. I'm like, somebody didn't even get to play the game. Like, it's just so luck-based. Munchkin Last Light expansion. No! All the trolls in chat today. That's funny. Oh, are you excited about the rethemed Seven Wonders Duel, given that you love the lore? I'm extremely excited about that. I don't have Seven Wonders in my top 100, but I do have Seven Wonders Duel in my top 100. I really, really enjoy the pyramid drafting in that game. And yeah, I'm really stoked about the Lord of the Rings Seven Wonders Duel. It looks really cool, and I do love the Lord of the Rings IP. I think it's a blast. It'll be really cool to play that, especially because it feels like it would fit in some ways. I know it's going to be very abstract because Seven Wonders for the most part is abstract, but I guarantee you if I play it and enjoy it, you're probably not going to see Seven Wonders Duel on my top 100 list anymore. You'll probably see the Lord of the Rings one. I can already predict that. Huh. Was the Dice Tower tattoo your last tattoo? And which one was your first? Technically, no. I've gotten 2 more tattoos since then. I got a kunai from Naruto on my hip, and then I got a Demon Slayer like heart thing on my leg. Oh, and I also got a Triforce on my arm as well since the Dice Tower tattoo. So I've gotten several. Most of those have been either the kunai was a Christmas present from Ruthie. She Christmas before last, we went to the same tattoo artist that did our Dice Tower people, and I got that tattoo done. And then we both got our favorite video game. I got a Lord of the Rings or a Triforce from Zelda, which I really enjoy. Zelda Link to the Past is basically my favorite video game, or one of my favorite video games of all time. And then Breath of the Wild is amazing as well. And then she got Galaga tattoo that matches. And then we both got Nezuko and Zenitsu tattoos that are not done. We've only got the line work done so far, but I'm supposed to be going back and we're going to be getting that done. Hers is going to be the very end of this month, and mine's going to be the beginning of next month. But yeah, so we are getting anime tattoos apparently. So it's cool. I love it. And that's another matching tattoo that me and Ruthie are kind of getting together. But yeah. And they turned out really good. We went to Black Hand Studios for those, and they're doing like an amazing job. Roy, what was your favorite board game as a teenager? Strangely enough, I was more into role-playing games and card games as a teenager than just straight-up board games. I did really enjoy playing Dune with my dad. But I don't know, because it wasn't like I just had access to play it all the time. So it's hard to say, oh, that's my favorite. It really depends. Your teenage years are such a long amount of time. I played a ton of Robo Rally. I really enjoyed that. That was the first game that I would say is like a hobby game that I owned myself. I'd won a redemption tournament and got a ton of booster packs, and I basically traded those booster packs in to get a copy of this board game. So that was kind of cool. So I really enjoyed that. So it's kind of like my own board game. And I mean, we played a lot of like mass marketing type stuff. Like me and my brother would play Monopoly and Yahtzee and all this stuff. We played stuff on the computer and stuff like that. We just played it just because we liked gaming in general. But we played a lot more collectible card games than we did board games. I really enjoyed Bang, the social deduction game. We had a blast with that. We would play Bang a ton. But yeah, Bang was a lot of fun, especially back in the day when we didn't have a ton of other ones. But yeah, I'm not fully sure. I mean, my favorite board game that I played as a teenager, that's my favorite now, would probably have to be Dune, because I enjoyed Dune so much. Let's see. Sometimes I just skip around. Top 3 past vacations. Honestly, I love going on the Dice Tower cruise. I know that seems maybe like a shill thing, but like the Dice Tower cruise is my favorite board game theme event, period. It's amazing. But then also you get to do all this fun stuff. You get to be around awesome people that are just really cool, that have shared interest if you enjoy board games. It's so much fun. And I love the food. I love being able to go, either you can do the fine dining stuff and get all sorts of different stuff, and you can order as much as you want, or you can go to the buffet, which is fun. And the last cruise ship we went on had like a taco bar that you could go to, like all you could eat all the time. Loved it. And then you get to go all these cool locations and like visit different areas. And then they also have like the Coco Cay, which is like the resort island, which you can get unlimited funnel cakes if you want for free. What? I mean, I guess not free, you paid for the cruise, but it's still really, really good. So it's probably 1, 2, and 3 is I've gone on the Night Star cruise more than 3 times. What other vacations have I really enjoyed? I live at the beach now, so it's not, I mean, I have gone to like the beach with my family and stuff like that, and that's been fun. But yeah, a lot of times when we did vacations, it would be like going to Gen Con as a vacation, you know. That was like really fun when I was early in my board gaming. I really loved going to Gen Con. That was a lot of fun. And we've gone to Disney and stuff like that. That's been really cool too. But yeah, that was a blast when me and Ruthie went to Disney for our oh my goodness, our anniversary. For some reason I want to say rehearsal, which doesn't make any sense. It definitely, and wedding doesn't make sense either. And it wasn't our honeymoon. It was just our anniversary of having dated for a couple years. We went to Disney, and that was a blast, because the cool thing about me and Ruthie when it comes to like theme parks is like, we're there for the thrill rides. So I got to experience Disney as like just like ride after ride after ride after ride, and that was a lot of fun. Especially since we kind of like approach those things the same way. But yeah, probably Dice Tower Cruise, Gen Con, and going to Disney with my fiance is a blast. Da-da-da. Full Metal Alchemist is so good. I love it. Let's see. What anime would you want to, I'm guessing this is the word, the Japanese word that means like kind of like be transported into. I don't know. So many anime worlds are like crazy and terrible a lot of times, or like there's really shady, weird stuff going on in the background. It would be kind of cool though to be like in Naruto or something like that, where you could level up powers and do all sorts of crazy stuff. I mean, there's all these fantastical things. I would like My Hero Academia would be cool too, because everybody has like all their X-Men type powers and stuff like that. But you know, there's so many villains running around. Like, so many of these anime have terrible bad guys. If it was a time of peace, I don't think the Hidden Leaf Village would be too bad of a place to live. But who knows? Okay, let's see. How many warp tours have you attended? I've gone to 2. I went once, this is wild. I went once as like press. There was this magazine called Alternative Press, and they had done this call on social media or something like that for people to like take like pictures, and I did all these like artistic like alternative press like photoshopped up pictures with my camera, and I just had like a little DSLR camera, and I was not a great photographer or anything like that. And they're like, oh, that's awesome, or whatever. And I asked them, like, they're like, oh, is there anything we can do for you? Like, we love this so much, or whatever. I was like, hey, I'm going to this warp tour. Is there any way you can get me like a press badge for it? And they're like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. We'll get you there. We'll get your name on the list. Which is kind of wild to think of, because I was going around at the time, like taking pictures of bands, like at live shows and all this stuff. For some reason, I wanted to be like a band photographer, which is pretty cool. I went to a emo night over the weekend where there was a band photographer. That seems like a cool thing to do, is go through and like take pictures of people enjoying like rock shows or different events and things like that. But I get to the Warped Tour, and like I didn't have like a ticket or anything like that. And I get there, I was like, oh, I'm on the press list or whatever. Like, alternative press put me on the press list. And like, oh, we don't see your name here. I don't know if they forgot to put me on or what the deal is. I was like, oh, well, let me call them and talk to them. Anyway, they gave me a press badge and like took me in there. I feel like my camera was not good enough to be able to fake that I wasn't trying to fake. They told me they were going to put my name on the list. But I ended up being at Warped Tour in front of the barricades, being able to take pictures like from the side of the stage of all the different artists and things like that. And on a future Warped Tour after that, I was with a band and they knew people that worked at Vans, and we were able to get backstage passes. So then I spent a Warped Tour like being able to watch the bands from on stage with that as well. So like I've seen A Day to Remember and a bunch of different bands like from on the stage, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I really enjoy Warped Tour. I went to When We Were Young last year, and it was like Warped Tour. It was cool to like, we saw Goldfinger play Superman, and Tony Hawk came out on stage with MXPX there and stuff, and we saw so many like big name bands play. It was just so cool. But yeah, I really enjoy that style of like concert. I did not go to the MCR concert in Miami 2 years ago. I remember that happened, and we were like, me and Ruthie were like, why are we not there? I wish we could have gone. But yeah, MCR is awesome. Favorite anime board game? I have Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Attack on Titan: The Last Stand, Cowboy Bebop, and Death Note Confrontation. Oh wow, I didn't realize it was a Death Note one. And this also can correspond to the what theme do you think is underrepresented. There isn't a whole lot of like well-regarded anime board games, and I haven't played most of these. I maybe should. You'll have to let me know, Tommy, if like there's one of these that really stands out as like a solid game. I know people have said good things about the Cowboy Bebop one, and I know people have enjoyed that Attack on Titan one as well. So I really need to try those. But yeah, I really want to play more and see more of these anime-themed board games. They're just solid, or from like solid designers as well. But yeah, I need to try more of those out. And then Tommy also says, I wish I would have gotten the Naruto deck builder when it was more available. I did get that, and it was a Cerberus system or whatever, the same thing that the DC deck building game was. And I played a lot of deck building games. I really enjoyed Marvel Legendary and things like that. And for some reason, it's frustrated me so much. I love Naruto, but like, it was one of the only deck building games where like I would play out a hand of cards and not be able to buy anything, not be able to attack anything, not be able to do anything. And it was just a little bit frustrating for me just because I felt like it was a little bit more clunky than it needed to be. Will you have any playtests for new game designs at Dice Tower East? I will be busy at Dice Tower East a decent amount. I always am doing my Dice Tower stuff, and this time I'm going to be actually running a, like I said before, where I'm going to be running a like teach and play of Last Light. So we're going to kind of do a thing where I teach, I have a bunch of copies of the game, I set them all up, and then people can come in and I teach them how to play Last Light, and they play against each other. And then we try to get it so I have enough time to where we can play one game, and then the winners of that game can play in a game against each other. I'm going to try to have some sort of prize or something like that for whoever is able to win through the different stuff. But I will probably have some sort of prototypes with me. I will have my kids with me at Dice Tower East here and there, and I have a ton of Dice Tower responsibilities, so I will see if I'm able to actually fit that in. And you know, a lot of times I'm playing just random games with all sorts of different people because that's one of the fun things we get to do at these events. But yeah, I will maybe have some playtests of new game designs there. We shall see. You can always come up and ask me if I have anything, and you know, majority of the time I'm like, hey, maybe somebody can play this thing. I'm always very shy about showing off stuff sometimes, but if somebody tells me they want to play a prototype from me, then that would actually make it a little bit easier, because I'd be like, I got one right here. You know, there you go. Da, da, da. Oh, wow, yeah. What is your favorite game you can only play at cons or big groups of 8+? Wow. I probably Dune is one. I've actually played Dune at the retreat. It plays 6 players. I don't only play that at cons, but oh, big groups of 8+. That's crazy. I don't have too many games that I've played that big. I mean, besides the fact of I made I made Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea push all the way up to 8 players one time when we played. And then I played last night a ridiculous amount of players with two copies of the expansion smushed into the base game. But yeah, I can't think of too many. I really do enjoy Pitch Car, and I do enjoy Captain Sonar as well. But I think Captain Sonar... Oh, I've also played like Epic Battlelore, where I kind of made up the rules. I took Epic Battlelore from 1st edition and kind of imported it into 2nd edition and played that, and that was a lot of fun as well. Tim Jeanette says, Roy! What's up, Tim? It was awesome to see you be on the breakfast thing saying hi. That was cool when we had our 500th episode of Breakfast. Let's see. Do you have a favorite type of video to do? Top 10s, reviews, vlogs, or your preference to be on the tech side of the camera running the stream? Honestly, I love top 10 lists. I think top 10 lists are a ton of fun, and it's cool to just be able to ramble about games you love over a specific topic. I really enjoy being in videos as well. I think it's a lot of fun. I do like doing reviews. I can be very passionate about some types of games, and I do understand my taste is a little bit different sometimes because I really enjoy thematic games with lots of interaction where you're actually playing the game with the people at the table. I'm not as big a fan of just trying to get points in a Euro with a bunch of different hieroglyphs, and once you understand the game, you can crush everybody in it. I enjoy more thematic style games when I do reviews and stuff that actually has meaningful decisions in it as well. But yeah, I enjoy both. I do enjoy, I really want the things to run smoothly here at the Dice Tower, so I do like making sure things are running good and things are awesome and everything is great in our top 10 list and all of our live streams and stuff like that. So I do enjoy doing both sides of it for sure, but I really love being in top 10s as well. And I do breakfast every other Monday with Chris and Wendy, and that's a lot of fun too. We have crazy topics. We do a top 10 during that as well, and we just do all sorts of different segments in that, so make sure to check that out too. Let's see here. Favorite Nintendo console? Man, I had the NES as a kid, and I played a ton of it. I love the original Zelda. I love Final Fantasy. I love Dragon Warrior that I played on that a ton. And then of course all the classics like Mario and stuff like that. I enjoy JRPGs more than I enjoy platformers, but I don't have as much time to play them these days. I had the Game Boy. I enjoyed playing Pokemon on the Game Boy. I had a bunch of different Game Boy games. I really enjoyed having that you can just run around with and play anywhere, even though you had to hold it in the light just right. No one knows the struggle until you're trying to play a video game by the street lights at night because you don't have any light, until your parents get you that little clip-on thing, but then they take it away from you because you're playing it in bed at nighttime. But I think currently my favorite Nintendo console is the Switch. I mean, the Switch is great because it can be a console that's there when you're playing multiplayer with everybody on the TV, or it can be your own personal console that you can play handheld. You can play it on a plane, you can play it all over the place, and it plays ridiculously good games. I think that's the reason why the Switch is just done so amazing, is just because how versatile it is. And it's really good. There's a lot of really good Switch games as well. And I need to play more Breath of the Wild. I need to play more Tears of the Kingdom. I need to play more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. There's a lot of games. Oh, I need to play through Super Mario RPG again. I did have a Super Nintendo. I love Super Mario RPG. But yeah. I know, right? That's awesome. I remember when people thought When We Were Young was fake when it was originally announced. I'm glad it was real and hoping for future ones. I want an Elder emo hoodie. It's funny, I go to a lot of emo nights and people wear that sort of stuff all the time. But yeah, I remember thinking it was fake as well, because there has been a lot of those gigantic festivals that have just fallen through. And when you see a set list of so many amazing artists, it's just how can this be real? It's everyone that I love all at one concert. But yeah, it was a blast. It was so much fun. All right, we'll just do a few more here and then we can finish this thing up. True or false? Mike Delicio is a national treasure. Honestly, I think saying that Mike Delicio is a national treasure is not doing Mike Delicio full justice. You know, I mean, there's certain human beings that when they come along, like, they're an asset to the entire world. You know, it's not just one nation. It's the entire world that Mike Delicio is a treasure to. Because, I mean, the Dice Tower isn't just seen in the US, it is seen worldwide. So Mike's impact carries on far past shore to shining shore, or he goes over oceans, it goes across the pond. And honestly, with how radio transmissions are going from the planet out now, I would say he's almost a galactic treasure, you know. So I wouldn't just hold him back to just one nation. Okay. Hi Roy, thanks for your energy. Do you play Clank in Space? Favorite expansion for that? Honestly, I played Clank in Space, I think one time at Gen Con with Eric Summerer, and it was really fun. I enjoyed it, but I never got a copy of Clank in Space. I had the original Clank and I didn't see too much of a reason to get it, but Clank Catacombs is my current favorite as far as the Clank stuff goes. I loved the Acquisitions Incorporated, the Clank Legacy, but Clank Legacy isn't something that you can play over and over again, really. I mean, you could, but I don't think it's one that you're going to play with new people. But Clank Catacombs is amazing. I love the exploration in it. It's just so much better than having a static board, being able to be different every single time you run through it. And they just announced an expansion for Clank Catacombs. It's so funny because I was doing my top 100, and I mean, I haven't talked about Clank yet, but Clank's been on my top 100 for past years, but I saw Clank Catacombs, and I was like, man, they haven't announced an expansion for this. So I messaged the designer, Paul Denton. I was like, hey, where's more Clank Catacombs stuff? Like, give me more Clank Catacombs stuff. Literally that day, Direwolf announced the expansion on Twitter. It was like, what's this? Or they took a picture of it, and like, it was like, oh, what's this? And then Paul Denton tagged me in it. It's like, here you go, Roy, you're asking about the expansion. I was like, I forced Direwolf's hand to announce the expansion, and I'm super stoked. I love Clank Catacombs, and I'm really excited to have more content for it. It's one of my fiance's favorite games. We love playing it, and I'm excited to play with new map tiles and new cards to draft. I just really enjoy Clank. I like deck building in general, but I like it. I love it when you get to run around a board, and that pressure luck is a lot of fun. Let's see. What is your favorite band label back in the day? Mine was Drive Through Records with Starting Line, Newfound Glory, Early November, Finch. I don't know. I didn't track labels too much. I know I liked a lot of like the like Christian hardcore, post-hardcore type stuff. I know I like Tooth and Nail in some ways, but I know there's a lot of people that didn't like that label in general, but there was a lot of bands on the label. I don't know that I specifically like any label in general, you know, but there's so many good ones. But yeah. I also liked the label, what is it, like the whatever the one was that had like Fall Out Boy and Paramore and all of them. Even though they're way more poppy, I still really enjoy those bands also. I think this is going to be a cheat. Top 3 Nintendo Switch games. I'm going to have to say Breath of the Wild, which is probably my favorite video game in general. Super Mario RPG is on the Switch, so I'll say that one also. And then, which is a cop-out because it's a Super Nintendo game. And then, I don't know, I really have enjoyed playing the new Pokemon games. I have Scarlet that I've been playing through, and I just enjoy Pokemon games in general. So we'll say those for now. Oh, did you have a Game Genie or a Game Shark for Nintendo games back in the day? I think my friend had one that we borrowed, and you go through the code book. I remember playing through like Mega Man, where he did like moonwalking the whole time, walking backwards, or like playing games where he had infinite lives and stuff like that. And that stuff was so crazy. Sometimes it would just break the game in general if you played with it, but I remember using it to help me get through Mega Man levels for sure. Because some of those levels are hard, especially the timing ones where you have the bricks that are like they appear and they disappear, they appear and they disappear. If you could just like moonwalk where you can just jump in the air, it makes it way easier. International Treasure, Mike Delicio. There we go. I hope that catches on. Instead of just National Treasure, he's International Treasure. There you go. Mike Delicio, global treasure. What have I done? Oh, who is the prankster of the Dice Tower crew? It's Kenny. It's obviously Kenny. Honestly, it has calmed down a lot more. I feel like we went a little bit too hard with some stuff at some points. But we used to have Manny, which was the Mannequin. I know he was in some videos back in the day. But Kenny used to always hide him in places to scare people, like put a mask on him. We had Rodney Smith came to the old studio, and we had Manny set up in the bathroom, and Rodney Smith went to open the bathroom and like opened it with this like a mannequin with like a scary face on it. We also did the same thing to Jeremy Howard, and, like he flipped out. That was both Kenny. Kenny is the whole air horn guy. He's like blows the air horn on people. And we used to do so many pranks. We used to have this Hakoyono box, which is like this game that had like a really scary cover, and we would always hide it around the studio. But yeah, we haven't done as many pranks recently, but Kenny like taped the Hakoyono box in the like on the toilet seat underneath the lid, so when you open it up, like the box was there, and Mike opened it up and saw that and was like, what the crap, on the toilet? Like something's got out of hand, and we kind of calmed down a little bit, but it was pretty fun. It was fun while we lasted. But yeah. Let's see. Oh yes, Jordan says, that guy says fueled by ramen. That would be the correct one there. And Tooth and Nail is great. Sweet. Awesome. The air horn guy should be on his business card. Yeah, Kenny should have that on his business card for sure. All right, well, I think I am caught up on questions. Manny is a legend around these parts. I don't think, Manny might be in the storage building. He was in the garage for the longest time. We had him in like a little storage room at the old studio, and every time he turned the corner, he'd be there, and you'd be like, ah! But yeah, I think he might be in storage. I know for a fact that Kenny hasn't gotten rid of him because he's like Kenny's best friend. But I've always wanted to like take Manny and like drive all the way up in Miami to Kenny's apartment and like put Manny outside of his door and just leave him there, just as a funny thing, but it never actually happened. But yeah. But I guess I will be wrapping this thing up. Thanks everybody for joining me. Thanks for all the awesome questions. You guys are all amazing. We do have a lot of live stuff still happening the rest of this week. We have the rest of our top 100, not the rest of it, but the next chunk of our top 100. We're doing 50 to 41. We're in the top half, so all the good games are finally here. But yeah, super excited about that. So it's gonna be me and Jason and Wendy, and then Chris and Joey and Camilla doing theirs on Thursday, so we're doing ours tomorrow. They're doing theirs on Thursday. We, of course, have crowd surfing. We have a live play tomorrow from Lucky Duck. They're going to be doing their Flames of Fafnir, which looks like a dragon game where you roll a marble to knock over stuff. This dragon's trying to destroy things. It looks like a crazy game, so I'm excited to see how that works out. Devin's going to be coming to the studio from Lucky Duck to help teach that. But yeah, lots of awesome stuff coming in here for the Dice Tower. So I hope you guys all have an amazing day, and check out more of the videos up on the channel. Anyway, thanks everybody. I'll see you on the next one.
Hey folks, thanks for watching another one of our videos. If you like our videos, if you like our channel, you would love to game with us at one of our conventions. Check out Dice Tower Cruise, Dice Tower East, and Dice Tower West. Fantastic conventions where we play games with wonderful people, a humongous library, and lots of other events and stuff. Also, don't forget to check out our channel, like and subscribe. I'm Tom Bassel.